OBS does start streaming now is weird. For you.
Mm,
All right. Well, let us know when we're good, sir.
Up.
sound like we're good.
All right. Hit it off, Keith.
All right. Let's
I'm
get
gonna sit
busy.
here and eat.
All right.
Don't you mind? All
All right. What's going on, everybody? The Almost in Full Color team has reassembled for the newest podcast. This is a weird ASMR mukbang. Apparently, Terry has made it. So, I have
Oh,
orange
wow.
juice. What do you all have?
I
Oh,
got
Monster
hot
Energy
tea.
drink.
Oh, all right. Well,
New channel sponsor.
for those newcomers, we are the founders of this channel. We are joined by, well, how about everyone say their name this time? How about so people could put a name to a face or a voice to a face? You know what I'm trying to say.
Gains. uh,
No.
So apparently they'll be watching us, Keith. But yes. Say your name, Roger.
I'm Roger.
And I'm Gaines.
The one
I'm just
eating
here.
chips is Terry, and I am Keith. Welcome to the Almost a Full Color podcast, where we talk a lot about gaming, tech stuff, and things up that alley. Terry has left; he is upset. All right.
Oh,
Gotta wait for him to get back.
I thought
How's
Terry was
everyone
about to
doing?
walk in like Roger's room or something. The way he looked off, I'm like, y'all not even in the same house.
no, something fell
I
in
would have
my
been
house.
impressed. I'm not gonna lie. If he just like walked into your screen. I would have been like, holy shit.
All right. Still eating chip.
All right. We got a lot to talk about, so we're just gonna get right to it. First and foremost, I saw this article. It seemed kind of interesting. The rumors are PS5 is working on the PS5 Pro, and a lot of people were kind of the mindset that they wish that there was a way to upgrade without having to basically shell out the full price of upgrading. Do you all feel like maybe that is something that I guess Sony or just anyone should look into, a kind of a way to upgrade your hardware at a lesser cost if you did buy kind of the base version, or is it
Buy a
what you're
PC
getting into?
or go to GameStop. Or go to GameStop.
I mean, GameStop wouldn't be a terrible option to be honest. But honestly, right now, even talking about a PS5 Pro just seems like so foreign to me because it's like they're even struggling getting the PS5 to people. And honestly, I haven't seen a game come out yet, whether it's an exclusive Sony title or just a third party title, to where I felt like they got the most out of the PS5 to where we needed the next step up. Like, I feel like developers are still kind of feeling out the PS5 and not saying that, it's hard to develop for or anything, but it takes usually a few years or so before they really dig deep into a console and like kind of start hitting their stride of figuring out like the tricks of the trade, what they can do to get more out of it than maybe what they thought before. So I feel like they haven't even got to that part. So even speaking about upgrading it is just it's weird. I mean, at least last generation we had the SATA drive, so where you could kind of throw in an SSD, even though Sony didn't decide to go that route with the PS4 Pro, which was weird. But I mean, now we have SSD drives already. So what I don't understand what there would be to actually upgrade to, but if they feel like they can make a little more money off it, I'm sure they will. But they're not going to give you any discounts. It's not going to be like upgrading your software from the PS4 to the PS5 for like what $10 or something. I think is usually what it is.
Yeah.
Like you won't get that with hardware.
Yeah, I was
Preach.
about to say even the divide from the PS4 PS5 still hard for a lot of people to tell. Like graphics wise, like you could see aspects here and there, but still like I know I watched a streamer playing on the PS4 and it's like I couldn't really tell until you called it out and then I start looking, I'm like, oh yeah, I could tell the graphics difference. Like sadly the biggest difference still now is there's a SSD. Like
Mm.
that's the biggest improvement for the price at the moment because the SSD you put in a PS4 still won't handle fully like the chips do in the PS5. So yeah, the Pro Talk it's like still weird because it's like now it's even gonna be hard to tell the divide. I was one of the people that didn't get a PS4 Pro because I didn't feel like the jump was really that big for to justify that. So It's just hard.
Terrible decision,
That's what
Roger.
she said.
That is exactly what she said. That's correct.
Yeah.
Kudos for not leaving that one on the
I've been
table.
watching a lot of Office the last couple of days, so there was
Same.
like no way I could not say that. So
Oh, no. No, I'm done eating. I can speak to Keith's question. They're not gonna charge a discount. I mean, they saw how many PS4 Pros sold for the amount of people that traded in their PS4s. They know they're gonna make money regardless. So you're not gonna get some kind of discount, whether they should do it or not. That's a whole different question, I guess. But no, you're not gonna get it.
before Keith goes, just you saying that, even though I don't know, but it made me think of this. I can't even speak to why. But talking about the chip shortage and stuff, do you think that would be something smart for them to do? Like if you could do a direct to manufacturer trade, so to speak, just because granted the PS5 Pro would have better chips, but I'm sure like the PS4 Pro, it's going to reuse a lot of the same architecture, a lot of the same chipsets in there. For the most part, they'll probably upgrade certain things. But if they could like salvage your traded in PS5 for maybe like the SSD in it, the RAM, or maybe just the chipset itself, or I forgot what you call it, the actual, main the main chip that all the other chips go into.
CPU. Oh, you're talking
No,
about the chip.
Yeah.
yeah, like the
Uh,
actual, I forgot what they call it. Now I feel like an idiot, but anyway, like you could get pretty much all those parts, and we know the form factor isn't going to be that much different. The power supply, obviously, stuff like that, be a good way for maybe them to kind of skirt the whole shortage and focus on maybe just producing the whatever upgrade they provide, probably the CPU or GPU or something like that. But go ahead, Keith.
Wait, I can answer. Hold
That's
on, I got one for you.
actually
So, would you accept that point, even if it's going to be at an extreme loss? You're already selling the first
What?
console as a loss already. Wouldn't it just be an extra loss
Well,
on top of that?
yes and no, because you will be recouping the chips as well. So if you could reuse it, you could kind of try to, I guess, reason away the loss. I'm sure you would still take some type of loss, obviously, but it will be a way for you to remove the lead times for probably their manufacturers for the chips. Like if they could get the chips in another way, especially chips already produced, that's perfectly fine. They could upscale or ramp up production of the new consoles and at least get more software sold. So might be kind of beneficial for them that way while they're waiting on other chip manufacturers to keep making those chips anyway that they would reuse.
Go ahead, Keith.
I was thinking they would do just actually get your PS5 back from you, kind of factory reset it, refurbish it, quote unquote, and then sell that while also still selling whatever they had of the PS5 Pros if they were selling them. That's kind of avenue I thought they might do with the chip shortage, as this is a kind of unique situation. Normally, this would have just been, oh, here's the upgrade. You need to flesh out the whole stack for it or whatever it's going to cost. But in this situation, I thought, oh, it might be interesting if they were to do something like that, where it'd be, hey, we'll take your PS5 back for what was it, $5.99 for the one with the
Four
disc
ninety
and
nine.
$4.99 for the
499.
discless.
No, four ninety
$4.99. Okay.
nine for the disc and $3.99 for the discless, right?
Oh, okay.
Something
So
like
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
if it
yeah,
was,
yeah.
hey, if you trade in your PS5, your discless one, we'll give you $200 in, store Sony credit, and you could put that to your PS5 Pro or something like that. I figured they might end up doing, and then they just reflip that discless one for just mark it down $50. I don't know what refurbished things are getting marked down right now. I don't
Probably
think it.
demand, it would be
I don't
really
think it's
close
that
to,
much.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just due to demand.
Yeah, I was about to say that was the only thing with the recycle thing y'all were talking about is I wonder if they have to market refurbished if they use some of the mold parts.
I
Anyways,
don't know about about the parts, but you're right. I mean,
y-
they could. I'm sure they probably pull chips from other things. I don't know how,
yeah, I
you
don't
know,
know either.
what the rules is on how much reuse from something else does it take before that product is officially like a refurb. And then if they wasn't broke, technically, I guess you didn't refurbish it because you
Mm,
didn't repair it. So I think refurbish
yeah.
is really only for things that was damaged or malfunctioning, and then they fix it. So I guess technically it wouldn't be refurbished. I don't
I'll
know.
Google it later. That sounds
So as of right now, GameStop is selling refurbished ones at
Ooh, big discount.
So $30.
$30, baby.
Hey.
yes.
You know what you can get for $30 on your PS5? The thing that holds 2 controllers and lets them charge.
You can sell it to them for $330.
Oh wow, actually, wow, that's actually not bad for GameStop. I was expecting 100 and something.
Yeah.
Its
That is
trade-in
nice.
value is $330. Oh, sorry.
That's store credit though, right?
And sorry,
That's
trade-in.
It's store
Wait,
credit.
you also got to give us what's the difference between the pro trade-in value and just the regular store trade-in value? Because you get an extra what, 10%?
You do get
or
an extra
something?
10%. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is store credit. So regular value at store credit is pro value is $330.
What's
Like how-
cash value for the dope dealers or the dope takers? I guess they would be the takers of dope.
$240 for regular,
See?
$264
You see that big
for
drop
pro.
off? They know if you want that cash, they like, oh, you strung out. How Judge Joe Brown said, I can smell it. I knew I smelled crack on you. The more I looked at you, the more you smell like crack.
And then
Oh, man.
and this is with the disc. Wait a
Oh,
second.
then that's terrible. Then that
Yeah.
changes everything.
Now, yeah, you changed the whole.
Yeah, no,
Jesus.
yes. Okay, so this is with the disc.
You're back
It's-
to
You
normal
are a
GameStop. I
horrible
know.
researcher. Roger,
Well,
you
no,
are the
'cause
researcher from now on.
I'm looking at it, and you can barely see that little tumor that's supposed to be on the side of it.
What?
Oh, the tumor. You
The
don't have
tumor.
the tumor.
That's what people
Chief
call
has.
it?
That's what
wild.
Roger calls it.
Yes, it's horrible.
Jesus.
It made it non-symmetrical. It was.
It looks
thing.
terrible. Like I don't know why you would want this. It's just, Roger
All
calls
you
it a tumor.
Catholic kids.
Mm-mm.
It'd just be like
But-
us.
Well then,
Carry on,
let's-
Keith.
let's move on. We spent that was just supposed to be the appetizer. I didn't expect to spend that much time there.
That's a
But-
good
What's
topic.
the main course? Oh, the second appetizer. Let's go with that one.
We'll get there. PlayStation Game Pass. So for those who don't know, PlayStation's putting out their Game Pass. They rolled it out, and people found this loophole to where you could get potentially Game Pass for 6 years or PlayStation Game Pass. The new PS Plus.
PS Plus, I think it
real
is.
name. The new
Bunch of
PS
different
Plus.
tiers of it.
So people found a loophole. You can get 6 years of it. They have basically cut back on that. I want to say right now you can't even stack just a single year.
Nope.
So they
It no
have
longer converts. for
they have
new
completely
purchases.
removed it. So probably after June they'll allow you to start stacking again. If you were someone who did that, I've done that many times to where I just buy the subscription out because I catch it on sale. So normally I just catch it on off times, but they're not allowing that right now. Do you think that this is a bad look for them to stop that immediately in the way that it was done?
Hold on. First question is though, how many did you buy, Keith?
I didn't get any. I actually don't have any. My PlayStation Plus is already through 2024. Like just already, I already had it through 2024. So
No, we mean you got to buy
I'm talking about
PlayStation now.
yeah, I never got the PlayStation now. I didn't
okay,
even
'cause
buy
that's the one that
the-
converts.
Yeah,
the
it
PlayStation
converts. And then there was, if you had PlayStation Now for like 6 months and your PlayStation Plus ran out, like mine runs out in 2024. If I had PlayStation Now for 6 months, when it converts, I would have the highest tier until 2024. There are a bunch of like weird, I don't know how this system was implemented.
Yeah,
I
I had
mean,
to read it.
it must be
Sony
very
knew how it
tough.
was-
Yeah. I'm
think
guessing
they
it's
thought
really
it through.
hard, but yeah, it didn't transfer well. But do you guys feel like this is going? Do you feel like it hurts the service, or how do you feel about the service and all, and just your general thoughts on the service? And did this stomping down on this loophole make it worse or better?
I don't think so, because of course, if they wanted to, they could have just told everybody like, "Here's your money back," and told them to wait. So I mean, at least I guess out of good, maybe is it called good faith? Maybe not the right term there, but I mean, they let everybody that ended up buying 10 years worth keep it. So I mean, they could have just said, you know what, fuck you. You're gonna pay this as you should be, and we're gonna give you your money back. I mean, that's what they could have done. Like that's
Well,
that's
there goes our
literally what they could have done.
monetization. So
Yes,
won't be
I,
eating next week. Won't have any food next week. Damn it.
I'm waiting for Roger to give us our 1 cent for the. But like, I mean,
Roger's just like, what, 1 cent? Y'all get nothing.
I mean, but yeah, like I mean,
or done anything. He's just like, I'll just sit here until it blows over.
Oh man, but like I said, they could have just decided like, all right, you know, we're just gonna refund everybody. So I mean, I guess good faith. Let's just go with that. They're like, yeah, okay, everybody can keep it. Now, most likely, whoever rolled it out without making sure that there was these certain rules involved probably did get fired. Let's be honest here; they lost out on a lot of money, most likely. I mean, at least Sony let people keep it. I don't think it's gonna leave a bad taste in anybody's mouth. Probably would have been if everybody got a refund, maybe. But I think it's fine for right now. We won't know exactly what else it has until it actually launches and see if it's actually usable. Unlike the current PlayStation Now, I think it is, or whatever it's called right now. The streaming one.
It depends. It depends what you're playing. So if you're playing like PS3 games, it's not. It's very, very bad. Anytime you have to stream from PlayStation Now, the service is horrible. But for the games you can download from PlayStation Now and play,
yeah,
it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's like playing old games, but
Yeah.
the streaming was not good.
So yeah, so I mean, as of right now, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, at least everybody got to keep however many years they ended up buying off of it. And I think the person that probably rolled it out without this rule in place probably got let go. They're very bad circumstances, but it's fine for right now. I don't think it's changed much of anything until it actually fully rolls out.
Well, I guess I'll tackle the two questions, kind of what I think of the service, and of course, what I think about them saying pretty much uh, you can't buy any more PlayStation Now to convert to the new service. So the whole convert part, I mean, no, I don't really think it leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. I think people kind of understood going in, like, hey, this is a loophole. They're going to close it. That's why people bought so many years in advance, knowing that this is going to get taken away. I don't know when it's going to get taken away. Let's make the most of it while we can. And even though, I guess technically, yes, Sony maybe lose money because you're not getting the price you would have charged for that amount of time. But then again, you're probably getting a lot of people to buy in for multiple years that they might not have bought in at full price. So it's kind of like, yeah, we may have lost a little revenue, but we might have actually got more revenue just because people purchased so far out because they wanted to, save money over that time. Uh, so it kind of could have worked out for Sony, but obviously you don't want that to just keep going on. I think they might have even understood that loophole was there and was like, we'll let it happen for a window of time, and then we'll announce that basically we're shutting all that down and you can't do it going forward. But as for the actual service itself, the service actually isn't bad. It's weird because I don't see where it actually matured. I don't see where it changed. And the reason why I say that is because it's almost like PlayStation Now is still PlayStation Now, but with fancy new names. You still get your free games like you would per month, like with your PlayStation Plus account, but you also still get access to the PlayStation Now catalog if you pick a certain tier, which is pretty much just PlayStation Now, what it's always been. And I think they're gonna add, like, they haven't really spoke if they're gonna put PS5 games there yet,
they
but
are.
they said, okay, so they're gonna put older ones there because
Yeah,
they haven't said that they're gonna do day one releases. They
yeah,
said that
that's
they
what
weren't.
they did say.
Yeah, they said they're not really. That's not part of it apparently. But PS5 games, I guess, will apparently make their way on there at some point in time. Uh, which I guess that's okay. Uh, and they still never really talked about like if they're going to give you the ability to actually play like PS3 games. like the PS2, PS1, and PS3 games, like if you have a PlayStation 4 or 5, which the majority of individuals have now, you're gonna have to stream those titles.
That's
And
what they're
PlayStation Now,
advertising.
yeah,
It's this
PlayStation Now
streaming.
is god awful when it comes to streaming. As someone as myself who loves cloud gaming, PlayStation Now is the worst one by far. Like, and Xbox is horrible, but PlayStation Now somehow beat them and made a worse service. So hopefully they made that better, because if they're not going to give you some type of emulation to use in like locally, that's going to suck. And I would hope that they would just start bringing like their first party titles to it. I feel like if they did that, it'd be a great service, because that's really the only plus of Xbox Game Pass is that you get day one drops. Like, no one really cares about the catalog. Like, that's the only reason people buy the Xbox One is just to get day one drops. So it was weird that they kind of advertise it as Sony's Game Pass, and it's like, no, you just expanded PlayStation Now as an older catalog of games. Like, you're not giving us day one drops from your first party providers. Hopefully they change that though. So I guess that's it.
Yeah, I was about to say the loophole thing again. I mean, all of us started with loophole. You know, it's going to stop. That's the whole point. I mean, everybody going in it knew they were going in it to try to get past the system. So it's never a good way to, I guess, handle it. I mean, you know, they're going to stop it and just figure out a way to not have it bleed over anymore. Obviously, they could have probably refunded everyone back, but that would have probably caused more fussing, because then people would say, I bought this, why am I getting it back, and all that stuff. So I think they handled it the best they could. They stopped the bleeding, just was like, hey, you get this for this time, and good luck with all that. The service, again, missing the day one is the big part that's going to hurt, because I feel like that's, like Gaines was mentioning, that's like the whole Game Pass thing. And wondering if they're going to announce any exclusive like parties or figure out what companies will work with them. So like me, I like Game Pass because Devolver Digital has been pretty much day one with them. So I've been playing a lot of their games. Will PlayStation work with other developers like that for that? I don't know. Right now we just know PlayStation exclusives. So even if they're timed, like I know the Devolver Digital ones, I think are on the timed where they're only on there for like 3 months and go away. That's the big thing there. Everything else just feels the same, and I probably will get the essential one, where I just get my 2 free games, because the streaming, like Gain says, is not too great right now, so no interest in that. And if there's no day one games, it's hard to justify 120 versus 60 a year.
Yeah, even with I forgot to add, they do got the demos. So apparently they're trying to do the 2-hour trials, but
Yeah, I see time limited game trials on here.
yeah, but devs apparently hate that. So they were like, we don't like that you guys are like offering that as part of your plan, but yet we don't get any extra revenue for it. But you're
I
going to
mean,
make money
that's
off offering it.
stopped Terry and I from buying Anthem.
Stopped
Was
us
the
from buying Godfall too.
Getting a 2-hour demo.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what they were upset about that part too, because Sony was like, well, we're not tasking you to create the 2-hour trial. We have like a team that'll do it. And they were like, well, what if you don't basically show our game in the best light, or don't pick a good part, and then people play it and think the game sucks or something. So
Well, we did the Steam way, I think, for Godfall. Then we buy it,
Epic.
but Epic. Okay, somewhere I think you bought it, but you have 2 hours to return it.
okay.
Yeah, we did it for Godfall, and then Anthem. We just did the EA pass or whatever it was that they have.
Yeah, it was something. It was like $1 or something. So I guess we spent $1 for a demo and to play other things. It was real cheap. I remember that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's whatever it was their $5 monthly thing that you can play their games on Origin 2 weeks before it comes out.
Oh, you talking about the EA Play?
Yes, thank you. That's what it was. Yeah. So you just paid $5 and that was it.
I feel like we had a discount for that. I feel like I didn't pay the whole $5.
It might have been a discount.
Now if you have Game Pass now, you have EA Play, so because they're like one and the same now.
You don't have the Plus version.
You don't have
Yeah,
the demo version, but you still
Yeah.
get $10 off new games. So it
but
works kinda, I guess.
it saved us from spending
Go,
$60. I'll say
go,
that much.
save Sony, damn it.
For the stomping down a loophole part, I think it's funny because when Game Pass first came out, Xbox Game Pass, they actually had a loophole to where if you bought 3 years of Xbox
Yeah.
Gold, you could upgrade to Game Pass for $1. And they never stopped it, I guess. But at that time, I guess it was a brand new service. It was them kind of jumping on the ledge, so maybe that's why they didn't stop it because they didn't want to dilute anything or hurt it in any type of way. They kind of went all in on it. So I think now that kind of people understand what it is, Sony was able to kind of just push down or push back at it and hey, no, we're not gonna allow it. And that's why I kind of got the feeling I got from it of they're being deceitful and all that, but it was weird because like you knew you were being deceitful and doing what you were doing. Like I don't think anyone did this and thought, oh, this is what they want us to do. It's like I mean, if that's what you thought, that's what you thought. I don't know, but I could tell you, most people were like, hey, get on this right now before it goes away.
Yeah.
And when you say that, you know, like, all right, this is a too good to be true thing. It's not supposed to be like this. So, and like Terry said, they could have just hunted. I mean, I don't know how many man hours it would have taken to go back to every single account and look at it, revoke it, issue the refund. But
6 hours.
I was
For
about to say.
No, it shouldn't have been long. You just go to database, find them all, wipe them out.
Dang. No remorse.
Here we've all, and then just do a generic email. Sorry,
Yeah,
this was not supposed to happen. Here you go.
6 hours. That's I'm on standby.
It'd probably take the
6
PR
hours on
team
coke
longer.
or like just a regular
Wow.
6.
Wow. And you talking about me demonetizing the channel? Wow.
We're going all in. As far as the service goes, we'll see what happens. I'm just keeping the regular. I don't really until I see a lineup and certain games mentioned. I'll just keep it regular. I know a lot of people have this weird. I've never really, when it comes to my old catalog, like, and I own a ton of physical old games. I don't play them that much. Like I'll go back to them here and there. That's why I've always found this like super weird when people are like, "Oh, like, are there gonna be PS1 games?" It's like, are you really gonna go back and play Ape Escape? Are you really about to go back and go beat Ape Escape? I love that Ape Escape as well, but it's like I might play the first 10 minutes. I might go play Spyro for like 10 minutes, but I don't think I'm gonna go back to the PS1 days. I personally don't. For me, anyways. Like I said, I got PS5 games I don't go back to that much. So it's like when I think about the old catalog and people making such a big deal of the old catalog, I really wonder. I would really love to see the data on how much.
I think people just make a big deal out of it, but they don't actually use it.
You see it on the online game. So I bought the Gears of War, the remake they did, because I was all excited. I loved Gears of War. And it was like everybody I knew from the Xbox got on. We were playing the old games like we used to the like 10 years before it came out. Then the next weekend, 2 of us was there. Then it like you see the drop off fast.
I mean,
so usually
it's just nostalgia. That's it.
Like, so usually like paying 1 month for that, I see people doing that. Like I'd be like, oh, they put Ape Escape up. I'll pay for this month and play that and some other ones, and I'll go back to regular for the next month, and I got my fix in.
I mean, I guess they know like people still gonna buy it. I mean, look what they do with backwards compatibility. People complain every year a system drops since they changed the PS3 and took away the 100% backwards compatibility. Like everyone complains every year, but yet they still buy the new PlayStation every time. Like they're like, why don't you make it backwards compatible? They're like, no, we're not. Okay, here's my $600. Take it. So I don't know.
I know somebody that would argue that fact with you, Roger, about Pete. I know somebody that would argue that fact to the ground.
Backwards compatibility there.
I'm just saying, I know somebody that will argue to the ground. No matter how
I
wrong
put
he is.
DOSBox on my computer right now and play some Wheel of Fortune from the 80s.
Jesus Christ. What's next, Keith?
So Square Enix has sold off Crystal Dynamics, Eidos Montreal, and Square Enix Montreal as well. They've sold them off to Embracer, and their reasoning is they really want to get into NFTs and blockchains. They sold them off for $300 million. Now, granted, when I actually looked at kind of their profit margin, they all were like only making a 1% profit. So in terms of them being sold, and it's crazy because these are games like Tomb Raider and Deus Ex, and well, I thought maybe that Marvel's Avengers game was gonna make money, but I guess it didn't.
No.
I
It
thought they
lost
would.
like
Well, they broke
they said
even.
it lost like no. They said
No,
they
they
lost
broke
like
even.
lost.
3
They
or
said,
400 million on it.
no, I
It
have
was
to
a
look at
lot.
that.
It was a lot, bro. Because
The
people were
last
like,
thing I
"How much
saw,
did
they
y'all?"
they broke even.
No, they said that jerk like they lost a ton of money because of that game. Because people were like calling in a question like, "How much did you guys have to pay to get the license for those characters?" Like people don't understand how they could have lost so much money.
They lost 63
And
mil.
63 million. I knew it was something
Okay,
six.
okay.
So 600 was a little much by a tad. But so they lost 63 million. They lost a lot of money on Guardians too. They lost
Oh,
and
did they?
people were saying they don't think Guardians sold well because of the backlash of how bad Avengers
I
was.
don't think. I think that's a
That's
stretch
what
a little.
that's what people were saying. Like nobody really knows, of course, but they were saying they think it kind of tarnished it. Like they knew it was coming from the same company, and they were just like, "And we know they did with Avengers, and it was lackluster. I don't really want to give my money to play Guardians," because they were saying like when they brought it to Game Pass that they were like, we finally got our player base where we wanted it to be because obviously now people can just play it with no investment. I don't know what kind of money they got though for it. Obviously Microsoft paid them to get it there, but I guess they probably were like they rather take the flat fee since the game wasn't really moving. But
I about to say I felt like it was more marketing of the Guardians of the Galaxy thing. I just assume general people probably don't look at publisher too much when buying games, but I don't know.
I mean, Square Enix is a pretty big name though, so like Square is behind it. So maybe
Yeah,
that's what it was. Maybe they're like, no.
like I didn't want it because you only play as Star Lord. I
I
saw
didn't play
that.
Avengers because you didn't play as the Avengers.
Yep.
What? I thought you didn't play as the Avengers. I thought you played as the chick who was
You
like,
start off the first like hour and a half is her, and then you
"Nah, it's
can
too
change
much.
off to.
Don't show me Iron Man and Thor, and I don't get to be Iron Man and Thor immediately. It's the Avengers,
Yeah.
not their friend. Like, this is not the friend of the Avengers. It's not the name of the game."
Yeah. But as far as them selling them off though for NFT,
Well, is that excuse? Do you think that's just the scapegoat, or do you think they really are about to start like publishers are about to really start getting into this NFT blockchain in gaming?
okay.
I don't know because like
And it's 300 mil enough.
I was gonna say like the studios they sold was like all their Western studios or whatever.
Mhm.
Apparently, like none of them ever really did well. And that's kind of another reason they kind of sold them. And on top of that, I mean, people are talking about like the NFT scene is like drastically crashed in value. Like I've seen articles saying that it's like by like 90%.
That's
Like
good for gaming, though, in my opinion, because then you can start implementing it in actual features instead of like, hey, you're buying. Sorry, I'll pick on Madden cards. Like Madden cards were 400 and stuff like that. Now you're making it actually use the chain and be reliable and do stuff. So I think it needs to happen to be improved. But yeah, you're not going to do the quick cash cow as much anymore.
Go
So
there.
there's
Oh,
a
never mind.
Wait,
rumor
before Keith goes ahead. You hurt Keith's feelings there, games, when you said that they have trash titles. Tomb Raider.
I didn't say they were trash. I said they weren't making no money.
Tomb Raider.
I think they were the ones who actually did the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which was the third one, which didn't get received all that well.
Was it that?
Out of the
they did all three. Crystal
they did
Dynamics did
all
all
three.
three. Mhm.
Okay, well I know the third
But
one was the one
during
people was like, eh.
Yeah, during the third one is when they got the contract for the Avengers game, and that's
So they
why
kind of like
people blamed the Avengers game or why that game wasn't as strong. And then the Avengers came out. It was real crazy.
Trash Tomb Raider. Go ahead, Keith.
There's a rumor that PlayStation is going to be buying Square very soon. And some people said that PlayStation is about to focus in on acquiring Japanese-based publishers. Do you think Square may have sold them off just to, okay, hey, we've kind of cut ties with our Western counterparts, like, so let us join.
I mean,
we are pure blooded once again, Sony. We have cut ties with the tainted version of us.
isn't
Welcome
Square
us
Enix
back
like?
in
Aren't they like one
to
of the
our
biggest?
Japanese homeland. We're back.
Aren't they the biggest like JRPG?
I mean,
Them and Bandai Namco, which is the other company that they say PlayStation is gearing up to buy. But
honestly, like if I'm PlayStation, or well, I guess I'm Sony and not really PlayStation, I wouldn't even buy them because why? Like you are pretty much exclusive to me anyway.
Yeah.
Like you don't move units on Xbox because it's just one of those things. Like Xbox doesn't move in Japan, and Square Enix games just get bought on PlayStation. They just do because people who want to play JRPGs probably have PlayStation because, as Keith knows, that's the home of JRPGs. And the Nintendo Switch gets quite a few, but obviously they're in Japan as well. So it's
That's
like,
true.
why? If I'm Sony, I wouldn't even waste the money to buy them because I'm like, what am I going to really get out of you that I'm not getting now? Like, I'm already getting the milk. And I don't need the cow. I'm not gonna buy the cow because you're giving the milk up and the milk's good.
I mean, you got a
like,
point. Yeah,
I
like
mean,
there's no reason to.
you know, let Microsoft have one little udder. Like they can have that. Like we got the rest. All other, however many is under there. But anyway, I wouldn't buy them. But hey, I mean, I guess just to say they're part of your catalog, maybe that's nice. I don't know.
I mean, I guess if it was meant to help them with their streaming part of it, I guess sure, or the PlayStation Now part of it, maybe. But yeah, it doesn't make sense for them to buy it unless they're just going to return all that entire sale into their JRPG side of it and just double down. But I don't know. I mean, it's just no point. There's no point for Sony to buy them.
You know who they should buy? They need to buy fucking Stadia. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said F. But they need to buy Stadia.
We've gone too far, guys.
Yeah.
Take the lid off.
Say it like that. But
that's what they should buy.
They should buy Stadia just for the infrastructure for their PlayStation Now service.
They're working with Microsoft on the infrastructure. They're good.
What would
That's
You all
Google
remember
take?
that?
What would Google take? Like,
Wait for
I don't
Stadia.
even. I wonder, like, what number
Probably
would
3
you have
bags
to
of
give
popcorn.
Google?
3 bags of popcorn and maybe like an original Verizon Droid phone that still says Droid. It's like, ooh, nostalgia. I mean, I just feel like you could give them a number. Like
I think they're
love
marketing
Stadia.
as a service now, though, like to help anyways.
That's what I mean. So like they're
Yeah.
already transitioning. So I feel like you could kind of give them a number, kind of like they brought in Bungie. They wanted Bungie, they said, really just for their live service expertise and pretty much allowed them to still be their own entity, but they just wanted to like extract knowledge as needed. So I mean that's where they should put their money. But if they want to buy Square, I mean, it's cool. I don't know anybody who doesn't see Square as already Sony though. But
yeah, I already kind of figured they were like one and the same already. So I think everybody else does too. I mean, they just gave Final Fantasy to Xbox too. So
yeah, I mean they get it a year later. By that time, everyone else has already played it. Like nobody's waiting a year to play a game.
I think the only time it ran better on Xbox was Final Fantasy 15, I think it was, and that was barely.
No, it was the one on the 360. I want to say 13. It's
Strikes?
Final Fantasy 13. Yeah, it was better frame rate on 360, but it still came out like late. It was like a year later or something. So by that time, nobody cared.
Yeah, there's no point for it.
Being honest, like nobody cared by then. So
Game slightly touched on it, but PlayStation really seems to be putting their eggs in this games as a service or live game service bag. That's really what they want to push. While they say they bought Bungie, they say they have 12 IPs that they want to roll out that are games as a service, and that's where they see kind of the future of gaming. Do you feel like that is a I guess a true statement or one that makes some format of sense, as we've seen? I
Mm,
mean, I guess Destiny
I
is
mean,
kind of the one that gets mentioned as they've seemed to be the most successful with it. But you look at like Anthem,
And
The Division.
yeah,
you
I
gotta
would
look
say
There
out
aren't
games are
past
many
that
that
though.
are.
definitely they definitely seem to be going that way. I wouldn't say it's the smartest model to like say you're going to push out pretty much all live service games or try to focus on that. Uh, I mean, kind of like you said, you have Bungie and Destiny. That's like the pinnacle of live service game, I would say, at least for consoles.
Is
And
League considered a live service game?
Oh, there's multiple.
So
It's
wait. Oh wait, there's
Fortnite.
multiple versions of League of Legends.
No. I mean, there's multiple games that are
Oh,
considered
oh,
live
okay, okay.
service. I
Yeah, I was
mean,
about to say the definition
it's
seems weird to me.
the definition
Like,
is basically a game that's constantly having post content added.
so
So
like
that's
DC would be one.
Yeah,
I mean,
DC,
that's I
Final
Final
feel like
Fantasy.
Fantasy,
every game with a season almost at this point.
Yeah.
Fortnite. Yeah, like it's. I mean, games going in that direction. I don't think. I mean, it's been happening. It's just a lot different ones are starting to pick up. You have World of Warcraft being the longest one, I think, or might be even something longer than that.
Mm.
Yeah, a
Does
lot of them
RuneScape have stuff
MMOs.
added?
RuneScape is a live service, but it's also subscription based as well.
Ah, okay. Double
I guess
pay.
I guess you have live service, and then you have the many different small like subcategories underneath it, where it's subscription based, like
That's World of
World of
Warcraft.
Warcraft,
Yeah.
Warframe. I think no, Warframe's free to play.
Yes.
I think they just go microtransactions. League of Legends is free to play, but they do microtransactions, but stuff like that. So
DC free to play, but microtransactions. Well, yeah, it's all
subscription space and microtransaction.
It's
Like
like-
they are both.
yeah,
yeah.
subscription's a
It's
little
14 the
weird.
same way.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, so I mean, whether they want to continue going that route is a very difficult thing, as we've seen with Destiny 2. If you don't do it correctly, you can screw your player base. Granted, they did an overhaul, and I mean their player base has basically come back stronger than ever. But if you do it wrong, it can not go very well. Outriders is one. No, Outriders isn't live act service.
Well, it
Yeah,
wasn't.
it is.
Now it is.
Yeah, now it
It
is. Now it
wasn't.
is.
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
want it to be at first, and then they
Well, it
changed
sounded
it.
like they were just unsure. They're like,
Yeah.
we don't know with like Anthem and all these other things. We couldn't tell you if this game's going to hit or not. And then
And
it
that
hit,
joint-
and they were like, damn, we were
Well,
not ready.
Games will tell you
We have
otherwise.
nothing. Yeah, we
Games
have
will tell you
nothing.
otherwise if it hit, but
What? It wasn't a bad game. It just was
when you could
we
play
didn't
it.
have crossplay. I couldn't play with you guys.
That is
Stadia
true.
got kicked to the back burner. That's all it was.
Outriders did
I don't-
did do that incorrectly, I believe. I think if they did that at launch, like it worked, I think Outriders still would have been played now.
console was able to do crossplay and stuff like not too long after the troubleshooting phase, but
Like a month.
I mean, I can't really blame them for kicking Stadia to the curb. If you pull the numbers, what they sold on Stadia, I mean, I, it probably was horrible. So if you're going to like focus on fixing bugs and all that type of stuff, clearly you want to focus on where you actually sold the game. So I
Yeah.
understand why they didn't get prioritized at all, but it was just like that's what kind of just soured me because, which is weird. I should have just played it on Game Pass. I had Game Pass the whole time.
It's free this month. Outriders
Yeah.
on Stadia.
I don't know.
Oh
Outriders
yeah,
waited.
on Stadia. Yeah, I'm about to say Outriders is still free on Game Pass,
Eh.
but
Yeah, Outriders waited too long to become a live service game. I think
yeah,
now
like
their
Keith
player
said,
base is
I don't think they
gone.
didn't know what they wanted. Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to say, I
Hopefully-
thought they were making that and that was it. Was how it was marketed at first.
I think they need
I mean, you
to.
could tell because the end game wasn't there, but
Yeah.
but like I guess what Keith was saying with the question, it's weird that they want to go strictly live service. I guess obviously you probably see a lot more money you can get back from the game keeping it live service. But live service to me is always like really risky. Like it's you normally like get like a pretty good live service game, like you would get Destiny or the other ones we spoke of that's actually still healthy player bases. But then you can rattle off a lot that just like completely bomb. And like it seems like usually when they bomb, like unless it's coming from somebody with like some cachet, like a Bungie, like obviously Destiny had their struggles to where Destiny was not that great, and especially at the beginning where you could tell it was like missing like some key aspects, and they kind of was piecing it back together. But they were Bungie, so I think people kind of gave them a little more leeway. And plus, back then it really wasn't nothing like Destiny on the consoles other than Destiny. So I think it kind of kept you around as to where now we see Anthem try to come out, they didn't come out doing anything. People were immediately like, "Oh, screw that!" Like, I'm not playing that game, and no one ever came back. Like, you know, Division, like Division always seems like it's going to be good, and maybe they have a player base, but it never seems like their player base lasts long. I know we always try to play it every time, and it seems like it always just ends up disappearing, and we stop playing it. So I mean, I guess it's risk. It's just like boom or bust to me. So it feels like it's risky to say that we're going to bring out 12 live service games, and how many can you really keep playing? Like as one, like as a player, like you can only really play like maybe 2 or 3 live service titles and like actually be up to date on each one. Like to me, anyway. But
I
and
think
then,
it's smart to go that route though.
mm,
Just because of like you will grab some people. I mean, again, microtransactions, everything else, like people spend money. So even if it dies off relatively fast, you probably have enough content where you pushed enough people to buy probably the first or second, and then it just dwindles enough and it's well, that's it. Instead of like a single player game where it's like, oh, it died. Just yep, no one's buying it no more. Like we kind of hit the
mm,
end. So it just depends how much effort it is to do that. Like you probably expect to hit some and miss some, but I think it does help that. But it would be more on the companies, depending if you are doing like 2 or 3 a year. Do you have teams big enough to keep those games running? And then adding more each year is going to be rough. You're going to have big teams.
That's what
mm,
Bungie's problem was. They didn't have the big enough team to do it. I mean, when they signed with Activision, Activision gave them 3 small little companies underneath them, and that helped. But even still, they ended up pushing off a bunch of their content for about a year almost.
That was like
But
Fortnite. I mean, look how much the whole Epic went to Fortnite to maintain that.
I mean, yeah, they basically took away from, was it Save the World or whatever that we were supposed to get for free. They're like, yeah, no, you're all doing this now. But it's hard to say. Also, to your thing, Division 2 has 1,000 players right now.
ah, healthy.
But still,
Super
people
healthy.
are spending money on them thousand. So
Yeah,
It's something.
I don't know how much it costs to keep it running and all, but
yeah, it's just so hard. Like live action games, they take a lot, and if you don't have the team behind it to even help or facilitate it, it can spiral out. You'll just be stuck with an anthem. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder with the definition that you gave, if I mean at that point, like Tekken is a game as a service or a live service game, is they have seasons, and so I wonder if they'll like kind of if he said that, but really it's no, we'll still kind of punch out our normal games, but they just will be given post content afterwards. Some games
Mm,
will actually do really really well with that. It will help extend certain games. Like I remember like White Knight Chronicles. I really like that game. I feel like if that had a game as a service and they dropped like little DLC dungeons, I probably would have bought it. I really liked that game at that time. For those who haven't played, it's a JRPG. You made an
yeah.
avatar when you did like cross play stuff, or when you went to play with friends, you actually played as your avatar, not the main character. That was pretty cool. But that's that. So well, I posted it in the Discord. I posted it somewhere. The daggone weird game where you got acquitted for a crime and you were like killing people or whatever that
Oh,
weird
yeah.
thing was. The game is supposed to be satire of the Kyle Rittenhouse thing or whatever,
Yeah.
and uh, now you have Bungie who posted that they are against the Roe v. Wade being overturned. Well, I guess I'll keep it like strictly to the games themselves. Do you feel like games should leave certain topics alone in terms of the game itself, not necessarily the take out the comment about Bungie,
I was gonna
but
say, yeah,
just
you'd have to do that.
yeah, I'm not doing the shut up and ball thing. But
Yeah. No.
but do you think the game itself, the product, do you think that should be free of certain, like, do you think that game shouldn't exist basically, like, or do you feel like, oh no, I mean, I guess they got stories they want to tell and push, and that's all they
Um,
want to do.
I wouldn't say it shouldn't exist just because it's always weird when you start the whole like censorship thing because like obviously yeah you can look at that and be like that's kind of in bad taste or whatever, but then you can look at like other crazy games that they have out. I don't
Yes.
know if you remember games like what was it
Excuse me.
called, Manhunt. I
Yep.
think Manhunt
Yeah.
was one on the
Rockstar
360. uh
did that
yeah,
one.
okay, yeah, Rockstar. I mean, we've played some like some really crazy games, or whether they're just like super gory, super violent. I mean, shoot, what the was it Modern Warfare 2 or 3, the one you opened up where you just literally could kill everybody in the airport if you wanted to.
Modern
You
Warfare
Yeah,
could
I
2,
skip
mean,
yeah.
it.
you
Could
could
skip it,
skip it,
yes.
yeah, you know. I mean,
I
so
mean, did hit
I,
controversy.
yeah, you know, it kind of is what it is. Like if you want to make one of those type of games, I really don't have anything against it as long as, you know, you have it correctly uh labeled with, you know, who should actually be playing it. And which they do a pretty good job of kind of telling you like what's the demographic, well not demographic, what's the age group that should be playing this game and why it's rated that way, whether it's blood and gore, whether it's nudity, language, you know, violence, whatever. Then I mean it's fine. Everything isn't for everybody. So even though I may not personally want to play the game or I may not personally like the concept of the game, I mean, somebody else might be able to take it literally for what they say it is, which is just satire. Maybe they just find it funny and it's like they don't take it serious at all or think anything of it. You know, kind of like when I ride around in GTA and I'm just like killing random people, causing, you know, crazy havoc. Like at no point in time do I like do that because it's something I want to do. It's just like, no, it's just a video game. Like, yeah, I'm not like living out a fantasy. It's just a game. Like, you know, I fully understand that and I take it for face value of what it is. So
It's
to
always
me, it's fine, you know,
always funny when they say you should keep gaming out of politics, but politics always wants gaming.
because
That's
people
always
who
interesting.
make games, I mean, you got regular people who make these games, you know, they're going to have, you know, their opinions. Kind of like, I mean, what Keith was saying, the Bungie thing. People are mad Bungie took a side. Like, they're regular people.
Yeah.
Like, just because they make games doesn't mean that they can't, you know, if they want to put their bottom dollar on, you know, on the line and say like this is the side we're on. I think really people don't like when they do that because it forces them to do stuff. Like if you're somebody, say, like you said, if you are, maybe you're against abortion, you know, and you're like, why would you come out and say you're for it? I really like Destiny, damn it. And now you're like, they're fighting against what I feel is right, but I want to keep playing Destiny, but I don't want to not play Destiny because now I feel like I'm supporting a company that's using their or their platform to go against what I believe in. And now it puts you in a bad spot. So I feel like a lot of people would rather them just shut up about it because then they'd be like, well, I don't care if you're doing it behind the scenes, but as long as you're not outright with it, then I can just be ignorant to it. And my ignorance is bliss. I can just play what I like and not think that I'm helping the opposition, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to say
That was
I'm a big opponent of just games as art. So you're gonna have a bunch of weird stuff. As someone that played a lot of weird games, you're just gonna people want to make something, try it out, for better or for worse, sadly, but it's an art form like movies, music. There's a lot of weird music out there that disagree with. So there's that. And I just view it like companies have their opinions. I never was like sided one way or another if they had something I was against or not. It's usually like I try to just take the form they made, the media, and do I like that or not? I kind of separate them in my head mentally, I guess.
It's always interesting because I mean, games always have like an undertone anyway, like most games. Detroit Becomes Human, they had a small undertone there, so it's like nobody cried and complained about that one. But you know, as long as if it's right in your face, then it's an issue. But when it's like, you know what, I don't have to worry about making this choice right now. This person might be racist, but I don't know about that right now. I don't care. It's in a video game. It's like this entire game is based off racism, yet it's not an issue. So it's like, people are just weird. I mean, you're always gonna have the undertones in video games, regardless, and it's an art. So if people have an issue with it, they have an issue. But I get Bungie's thing. I mean, Bungie has always been outspoken about issues that are happening, especially when it comes to their employees. They've always been very vocal about it. So
You're always free to not buy it.
that is true. You do not have to buy
I mean,
it.
you can always just not buy it. So no one ever forces you to buy it or watch it. So
I was laughing because I just remember all the Modern Warfare. We're not buying this game, and everybody still bought it. And that's all I thought of. But I don't know why.
Just like everybody who tweeted at Bungie saying like, "I'll never play your games anymore," blah blah. Probably logged on that same day. They just say that because they hope that it'll make them do something so that they can play still and be like, "Oh, well, they changed. I can keep playing the game now." So you're gonna play either way. Like if you weren't gonna play, you wouldn't even have said that. You would just stop playing.
Yeah, the amount of people that were underneath that tweet afterwards, and then you just see Bungie clapping back at them. Oh, that was actually kind of cool though. Everybody's like,
yeah, they took out a lot of time to sit there and do a lot of replies.
They did, and their replies were amazing.
The one guy tried to get his money back, and they were like, what did he say? He was like, he paid for so many years of the season pass or something.
Yeah, and he wanted all his back.
He was like, can I get all my money back? Then they were like, no, you don't believe in terminating something when it starts.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That was a pretty good clapback. I'm not gonna lie. Like that was a clever one.
I mean, you can't say nothing back to that.
They're not gonna give you any refunds, bro. You better enjoy those season passes. You're not getting that money back.
Now he's playing in anger, trying to get his money worth. He's like, I hate every minute of this, but
the only thing it's doing, making the multiplayer even more toxic and the raid's toxic. He comes in angry now.
It's like, I hate this game. Fuck it. Somebody get that non-racist emblem over there and give it to me real quick.
I'll move on to the next topic, but for anyone who's wondering, I just hope the game sells terribly. Well, I don't know. I feel like they marked their company for death almost. Like it's like I don't know anyone who would even really want to deal with you after putting that out in terms of because it's an indie group, so it's like I
think they already know
the end game, but
I feel like when you make a game like that, you know your crowd's very niche. Like you're not expecting to sell a lot of copies. Maybe kind of like what Roger said, maybe just people who just did it as an art form. Like they just thought it was funny or whatever they did their like, creation of it and just was like, I'm just going to put it out there. And like, just the people who see it for what I think it should be seen as, like, great. People who don't agree with it, great. Like, we don't think this is going to keep the lights on, so to speak.
Yeah. Activision reported that Call of Duty Vanguard did not do as well as they had hoped, and they blamed World War II, essentially just saying that they felt that that time period doesn't suit the needs of the gamer today. Prior to this game coming out, do you feel that World War II was already done too many times? Or do you think it needed to be done again?
I think it was safe to put a game out in World War II. I think we passed that everything was World War II phase from years ago. Like, that was really bad, but now it's like, I don't know. Can you name another World War II game that came out, like, in the past 5 years? Like, I don't...
Not since we got through that part you just mentioned that everything was World War II.
Yeah, like, so I don't think it was, like, we're oversaturated. Like, it's cool. It's just... maybe the technology change. I mean, World War II was just some reason that's what games was showing off and just looked cool, and it was cool to play some old war that you had. But now everything moved modern and flashy, and we got cooler graphics. Now everything just might look dull in World War II now.
No,
It's
I
like who
think-
wants the slower guns and stuff.
I think it just came down to the fact they were answering the issues they ran into with their most recent, like, past 4 games, where they're like, we're tired of people flying around and having to have a game where we're playing in basically a 4-dimensional space. They're like, we want just our straight. It's
Boots on the ground.
4-dimensional space was probably wrong, but they're boots on the ground. What people said they wanted boots on the ground, so why not go to a space where you don't have people with jetpacks or abilities flying around over your head? You just straight up gunfights. I guess I think the game kind of more so just flopped more so than the error of the game. I think that was more so the issue.
Yeah, I would say it's probably a mixture of both. Like you said, obviously people were kind of upset at to where Call of Duty was going. Like it was getting like too superpowery. I guess to give it, obviously you don't have superpowers, but it just felt like you were doing too much. Like obviously when I'll be honest, when the jetpacks came in, I stopped playing. I was like, all right, it's just too much going on. And I think in some games you did have little powers. I think one of the Black Ops
3.
Yeah, you actually end up getting little powers. But I feel like maybe they were trying to rein it in, and maybe they didn't really understand that people were. I feel like people were just saying, like, man, go back to Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2 and maybe a little 3. But that Modern Warfare 1 and 2 phase was like that was like their best. Like everyone pretty much was Call of Duty. That's all we played pretty much. But I also think that in a way that people just don't do that anymore. Like those style of shooter games kind of people evolve from them. Like if it's not like a Fortnite or if it's not like a what other games like Apex, these type of battle royale style games, like people just don't really play those type of shooters like we used to for whatever reason. But obviously, if you bring something back like Modern Warfare 2 or something like that, people are going to come back and play it. Now, how long they stay, I don't know. Might be like Roger said with the Gears when they redid it. You might get a massive influx of people, and then like after a month or so, people are like, "Oh man, that was amazing." I don't want to play this anymore.
I mean, we all got the Modern Warfare that came out free on PlayStation Plus a year ago, and I think we played it that weekend.
That's what I mean. So it's like that
Well,
runs the risk.
We
of
played
everyone.
it. We brought it back out.
I'm about to say, I
here,
think
but yeah.
Keith
It was
and I
not a
probably.
month. I'll tell you that. I know it wasn't
Yeah,
a
yeah.
month.
No, I
That's
think
what I
Keith and
mean.
I
So
probably
you-
played more. So
So you run the risk of like, I mean, they're bringing back Modern Warfare 2 now, right?
End of this year.
I think
Yeah,
it's I
This
don't
is
know
gonna
what
be
they're
different.
doing. Yeah, I think
Oh,
it's
it'll be
This
different?
will be different.
Okay.
that's what they're saying. It's not a what's the word I'm trying to say? It's not a redo of the game. It's I guess a reboot of it, but a different standard of it, I guess. That's what they're saying it's supposed to
Yeah.
be.
Not a
You know what's funny?
remaster. It's a remake.
Thank you. Remaster. Thank
Oh,
you.
Yeah.
so pretty
Not
much
a
almost the
remaster.
same dang thing. Like my boy told me today, he said, I didn't fall asleep behind the wheel. I dozed off. I was like, what? You need to be a politician because that was a hell of an answer. You didn't fall asleep. You dozed off. All right. It's like, I wasn't found guilty. I pled guilty, damn it. It's like, okay. But anyway, and honestly, I think another thing they got to take into consideration is that like we're old now. Like everyone who kind of grew up on those style of games, like we got things we do now. Like most, you got your families, you got your work, your career, all that type of stuff. Like we don't have the time we used to have to play these games. And the kids who's playing now, like the way we used to play, they came up on Fortnite and battle royale style games. So I think the people who really have the time to like just play these games, they don't really care much for those style games. Like to me, I think, the demographic that grew up on those games, we're not the hardcore gamers anymore, so to speak. Terry smirks in disgust.
I didn't say anything.
Hmm.
So,
Keith, speak.
All right.
Tell us your
All
wisdom.
right, I was like, no, but
oh,
just think World War II is just done. It should literally leave for 10 years and then try it again, where you could play in augmented reality or.
Well, we haven't had any World War II in a long time, Keith.
did you
Needs to
just say?
wait longer.
Did you say
Needs to
AR?
wait. Yeah. Yeah,
Damn,
You.
yeah,
Duke
you
wants to be
play
able
World
to.
War II in some real nutty way. But the Medal of Honor, Battlefield, Call of Duty, there was Rainbow Six never had a
Rainbow
World
Six
War II.
always
They
does
probably
current.
did. Thank God.
Yeah,
there's
I don't think they ever
there's
went
a
old school.
even I think I played a SOCOM that might have been World War II. I don't know. There's a time
Nah, you're
frame
probably thinking
where
of
I
Medal of
played
Honor.
too much
Medal of Honor was
World
one of the
War
older ones
II.
too.
But I just think that time frame I played too much of it. I'm kind of done with it. And I just am not shocked that it didn't poll well right now. It's like we've got that game, got it remixed, and then we got the remix of the remix. So why do you keep bringing this back? And Call of Duty's already done in World War II. It's like why are you
Call of
bringing
Duty
back
has
something
done
that you
every
already?
war. Don't use that
Yeah.
as your argument, Keith.
That's what I'm saying. It's just, I
Maybe
just
They've
don't.
Activision
done
just waiting on
everything.
World War III to happen so they can finally have a new game.
I don't know, but I am tired of that time frame, so I'm not shocked that this one didn't do that great. But Gaines
Because-
kind of touched on the next point, but I will
World War
flip the
III?
question. No,
Oh, there goes the
Oh.
rest of our monetization there again.
Yeah.
I get just,
Jesus.
like, apparently we just don't want money on this channel. I think that's just what it is.
So Call of Duty and Halo. Hold on, let me give you the numbers as of right now. Halo on Twitch. Not that these numbers, I mean,
Oh,
take them
God,
for what
poor
you will.
Halo.
Halo has 3,000 viewers right now. Call of Duty has. It is down this list really far. Where are you?
You have to
Where
look
are
at
you?
Warzone, or you just can't
2
include
point-
Call of Duty.
No, because Warzone is battle royale, so I feel like
It's Call
that
of Duty,
pads
though.
Stats.
It's Call
Like
of
that
Duty.
pads its stats. Okay,
It's Call
fine.
of
So,
Duty.
so wait, do I got to add the regular team deathmatch in here?
Regular team. What are you talking about?
There's one for just team deathmatch stuff or core type stuff, and then there's another playlist for battle royale in Call of Duty.
Just do the full player count. Come on, you can math.
Twi-
Go ahead.
On Twitch, okay, fine. That's 11,000 there.
Quick maths.
Come on now.
Warzone has 15K. No, that doesn't sound right.
So somewhere the base is crying right now.
Where the-
That budget gonna be shot. What's that? 20,000 and 15,000?
Where did
70,000.
Warzone go?
Oh Lord.
I
Yeah,
think
he's
Warzone
losing
was
stuff.
15. Because
Losing
then I
data.
found battle royale or something else.
You
But
can't use
Anyways.
you can't use Twitch.
Let Keith just run his numbers the way he was.
I'm gonna let him run his numbers.
all right, look, I don't see Warzone, but I see that there's 10K in Vanguard right now, and Modern Warfare has 6.7. Not Warzone, just Modern Warfare. But between the three of them, that puts it at what 10, 6, 3, so 19.
Plus 44 for
Kurt-
Warzone.
Oh, you. That
I can find this information
But-
if you just asked us on a computer.
All right, Apex.
This question.
Fine. Apex currently has 176,000. Vampire the Masquerade has 40K. That's a new game. That's okay, I guess. And Fortnite, I saw Fortnite. It had a lot too. 60K. So I guess the question is, do you feel that the Call of Duty and the Halo prestige, like its name, will be like? Do you think it's gonna slowly die out, or do you think that its name will carry on, much like a Mario or like I don't know what Mario's Twitch streams are right now.
Let's
but
look. Why don't we?
Are they respectable? I don't know.
we're gonna put an asterisk next to this because it is a Saturday night, and you expect people to be watching Twitch on a Saturday night. We're gonna put an asterisk.
176,000 people watching Apex by itself is a lot. Wait, is that not a lot? I don't be on Twitch like that.
I don't know.
I think it's
Depends what's
substantial.
happening right
I
now.
don't know.
That sounds like a lot to me.
Oh, there's a
Terry
winners
watching Twitch,
qualifier.
though.
There's a qualifier going on for Apex. That's why it's a bunch of watch parties. I don't think you can.
I could. I don't know if this is good or bad.
No, I mean most qualifiers you do have an influx of people watching. I mean,
Yeah.
Right now, let's see if Call of Duty. I'll let somebody else answer the question right now.
Well, I'll answer the question.
I'm
while you're
looking
over
at
there
Mario.
researching.
Mario Kart has 2,000 viewers right now.
Mario
qualifier
Kart.
for
Come on,
Mario
Keith.
Kart?
Super
Is that
Mario
double
64.
dash or what?
Mario
of
Kart
Duty-
8 Deluxe.
Call of Duty League had 303,000 views today on stream. So, I mean, I think he's close with
I feel like the majority of that is probably from Warzone, the actual
no,
battle
it's
royale part,
it's their Call of Duty League, their pro league.
which
That's
includes.
just Call of Duty. It's whatever current Call of Duty is. They're pro players.
So it doesn't include Warzone.
No Warzone.
Wait, what's Overwatch is then right now? What is their pro league seeing?
I don't know.
Because
It's
on
on
Twitch it
YouTube.
said they only had 13,000 views. So
They don't
They don't
These
stream on
views seem-
Twitch.
So wait,
They
what,
don't stream on
where's
Twitch.
the
They
Call of
stream on
Duty League?
YouTube.
the
Call of
Call of
Duty
Duty League
League.
does stream on Twitch?
Nope. Call of Duty League is also on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
Overwatch stream had 426,000 people just watching it.
my question is still valid then.
So to answer the question, or I guess to give my opinion of the question, I guess it kind of goes into what I was saying a little earlier, but I feel like Halo just like they didn't give people what they really wanted. Like it was weird to take a game like Halo, like what people wanted, and they like left out like massive fan favorite portions of the game, like online campaign co-op. Like that is a staple of Halo. Like that's been a staple of Halo since Halo 2, I believe.
Yes.
So, I don't understand how you leave that off. Like, and I think you can do it now. I mean, the game's been out so long and it's okay, and it's still not there. It just seemed like the people that were making it, I guess, it's just weird. It was like they didn't really know, like, they didn't know, I guess, how to make a Halo game or what people really wanted. So I feel like that game is just suffering just due to lack of direction. Like it seemed like they were like trying to make it. I don't know. I don't know what they did with Halo, and it sucks because I know a lot of people really was looking forward to Halo, and it feels like kind of just got screwed over with it with like a very lackluster release and just very little content. Like you didn't even have Forge. You could have had Forge in there. Like it was so many things they could have done that they just completely just disregarded. But as it comes to Call of Duty, I don't know. I feel like Call of Duty is doing okay, I guess. I still feel like the younger crowd is probably a lot more towards like Apex and Overwatch and Fortnite. And they're probably the people that's like really driving gaming right now. To whereas, we're the ones who still like Call of Duty and stuff like that. And like looking forward to Modern Warfare 2 when it comes out because we remember what it was and be nice if it came back. But I don't know how long we'll play it. Hopefully it's really good. But I don't know. I mean, their prestige is always, kind of going to keep them afloat though. Like I feel like anytime Call of Duty puts something out, you're at least going to take a look at it just because it's a Call of Duty game. And if they put out another Halo, even after this debacle of whatever this was for a Halo, we're still going to look forward to it because you're going to be like, man, they're going to fix everything that they messed up last time. And it's going to be really good. And because it's Halo, you just want it to be successful.
I would say I think this blends into the last thing you brought up, Keith, with the whole like tired of World War II. I think that's just what you're kind of seeing now. Like the team deathmatch stuff, they're kind of a little lower. Obviously, still people care about the qualifiers and stuff, and there's teams. But the games we were talking about, Apex, Fortnite, and Overwatch, is bringing more to the table. Like on Call of Duty and Halo, you're just playing as some character, where those other Apex and Overwatch, you're building a team if you need like someone defensive, offensive, stuff like that. In Apex, you have your special characters with powers as well. And then Fortnite's just crazy with just building and everything else they're doing. So I think it's just a general trend of just modifying through the years. And usually a lot of franchise suffer or maintain and don't get as big, except Nintendo magically knows the secret to keep people playing their games. But I guess they change all the time too, because I know the Marios don't feel the same, where I know that's usually our complaints with sports games or some of the shooters, like Call of Duty feels like Call of Duty to me because I don't play it every year. I can play like every 3 years. I'm like, yeah, this is the Call of Duty I remember. It just feels like it. And to me, it starts dwindling a little bit. Like I said, there's still competition and they're fun to watch, but I think just the times people like them more skills, more faster pace, and that's probably why you're seeing them numbers. And of course, battle royales, the hot thing still, so that's always going to draw numbers.
Yeah, Halo got into the wrong thing of they came out, they started development in the middle of Fortnite and that other stuff. Why don't we do a battle royale, which I believe got scrapped super late. They just never put anything out, and then couldn't figure it out after that. Whereas Call of Duty is thriving off of their Warzone.
Yeah,
We all remember what Warzone was when it first came out. I can't remember what the original name was. Like, it was terrible. It was clunky. It was like nothing. And then next thing you know, they redid it. Now look, it's like one of the top games.
And it's free.
And it's free. Yeah.
That's
I think that's what Halo tried to do. They're like, well, we can't get
Halo
made their multiplayer free. So it's like, I think they wanted to do a battle royale, but then they're like, well, we can't really catch up with that. Let's just do a multiplayer and we'll make it free. I think when they announced it, it was like, it's out today. And everybody's like, well, shit, I got to go buy it now. Or I got to go hop on and get it downloaded, which, I mean, Roger and I did. We're like, well, Halo's out. Let's go do it right now. Let's go play. And plus, you have Call of Duty's out of season right now. I mean, nobody cares for Call of Duty after March, because then now we're looking forward to the next one that's going to be announced within the next month, which just got announced last month in April. So it's like right now, Call of Duty is at the point where it's out of its season, so you can't really use like certain things like that. But I don't know. I think people might just be of these kind of games. You got the normal formula Call of Duty has, you have the normal formula Halo has, and then now you have Apex and all these other battle royales out. So it's like everyone wants to catch up to the times, but if they do it wrong, we end up having an Halo basically at this point where it's trash. Nobody wants to play it. Buggy. They don't know what direction they want to go in. Out of the two, Call of Duty is the one that's pretty much going to thrive probably longer than any of them. Anything. Halo still has its name, but when's the last time you sat down and actually wanted to watch a Halo tournament? 10 years? 15 years ago?
Even any know we're going on right now.
Yeah.
They are going on right now.
Nobody knows.
They do not advertise it well at all.
Nope, they don't. Whereas Call of Duty League, you literally have people have like millionaires and billionaires buying in to have a team for a city. You have a lot of people in it. I mean, it costs a lot to get in Call of Duty League, but I mean, they put on a show. So everybody wants to see the best of the best play.
Yeah. Yeah, Call of Duty will be the one whose name but they were able to adapt in a way. But like you said, like the first Warzone didn't do that well. And a lot of times when you try to become something that you're not, it's hit or miss whether or not you can. So Halo, they try to do the battle royale, but then when they released that E3 trailer, people were looking at it and they were like, yo, what does this look like? So they had to go back to the drawing board, I guess, and overhaul the environments and the trees and all that stuff, because it's crazy the stuff that we pick apart in the game. It's like, yo, what is that tree? Like, that tree does not look good at all. And you're like, people care about trees. They really care about trees looking good. I mean, it's a gamer thing.
Until it stops you.
But until it stops you.
So you run into an indestructible tree because you can't run through it or destroy it.
Yeah, but that's what I believe Halo suffered through. Also, it's because of all of that, I guess everything came out probably about a year or 2 years too late. You know, a TV show and all this stuff. Probably like 2 years too late for all of that and TV shows not being received the best either right now. So just to make matters worse.
That's other reasons. That's that whole production for the TV show.
I don't.
Yeah.
Like, we're supposed to know what Master Chief looks like now. I don't know. The TV show is just weird.
They said Master Chief never took off his helmet or never did much talking because they wanted the player to play. They didn't want a whole bunch of dialogue. They just wanted you to feel badass and go out there. Which is like, well, if you never told us that, we just would have thought like, oh, like that was a good direction. But it just seemed like a kind of coincidental thing, like that Master Chief was perceived that way. It was like, oh no, we actually just didn't want to give him a lot of lines because we just wanted you to be able to play and go do
Of
stuff.
course.
So we
He
cut his lines
says
out.
he says 5 things. Cortana, okay. Cortana,
Yeah.
do this. I'm
So when he's
killing
doing
these
so much
bastards.
talking in the show, people are like, why is Master Chief talking so much? Why isn't he just out there shooting people? It's like, well, if he's just out there shooting people, then you're gonna complain there's no like real story development or there's nothing there.
We know him
The
as
show
a
just killed him.
non-talkative person. Just let him
Yeah.
not talk. You know?
I don't
Everybody
know.
else around him
It-
builds out Halo, though. It's not him, it's everybody else. He's just like the main character we play as that basically is just a super badass that kills everything and basically should be dead by now. Actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, he
Be
should
like
be
in
definitely dead by
Zelda.
now.
If there's a Zelda TV show and Link was talking, people are like, yo, what the fuck is this? People would be very upset to hear Link
No.
speak.
What do
You
you
heard Link
mean?
speak.
He has spoken before.
Yeah.
But you'd be like, yo, the main character's just walking around like
Last-
a mute and everyone
last
knows
time
what
they
he
let-
needs.
Last time they let Link speak was on the damn 3DO.
Yep.
No,
yeah.
was it 3DO? The Panasonic 3DO or whatever?
It was one of them animated things
Something.
that
It was
everybody.
It was the CD games. It was the CD
Yeah.
Zelda
Yes,
games.
that's that's it.
Yeah, he spoke on those, but Nintendo doesn't even like speak on those. That's not even part of like the Zelda history. They
It's
act
in
like
the
they-
meme history, though.
The meme history. Yes, we remember it.
Look, everybody around Link speaks for him. You got Navi that
He
speaks
grunts.
all for him. Yes. And then Navi yells at him. He does hands gestures. Navi understands him. And then they go about their day. And Zelda loves him. For not speaking. So what else you want, Keith? What else you want?
I don't know. Moving on to the last topic of the day. E3 officially canceled. Well, it was canceled some time back. Do you all feel that this going forward will kind of stay away? Do you think it may come back? Do you feel like it should come back? Like just in your terms of E3 not happening this year at all. Your thoughts?
I hope it comes back. I mean, just from nostalgia, it'd be cool. And plus, I never got to go to one, and now I feel like I would have the means now to actually go to one. But so it'd be cool to actually go out there if that was possible. But I don't think it's gonna come back just because I feel like Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo, like kind of like what's happening now. Everyone has their own streaming subscriptions and all that stuff. Like they feel like they have their own platforms now. Like E3 used to be like the platform for releasing games because there's really no other way to kind of show everybody the trailer and do all this stuff. Like because E3 came on TV, like it was like that one centralized platform where everyone could come and kind of show what they had coming up. But since COVID happened and it stopped it and it just allowed them to be able to say, oh, wow, we can just, stream these things on Twitch or, through YouTube or whatever, or maybe on our own, website or something. And we get the same traffic. Like we got the same traffic that we would normally get at E3, maybe even more, right now. And we didn't have to send anybody out there. We didn't have to like do any live presentations. Like we literally recorded this in a studio, made sure it was absolutely perfect. And then we just aired it and people watched it and people loved it. And everything went off perfect. We didn't have to worry about somebody saying like that guy was playing that game on the controller, but it was actually a PC right there. It wasn't console. It's like,
Or the don't
we
forget
can
the
Photoshop that console.
don't forget the
you'll
famous
never know.
saying Xbox turn off, and the Xbox actually turned off mid
yeah.
showing.
Yeah, so I mean, you don't have to worry about none of those faux pas anymore. Ooh, faux pas. But
Words.
yeah, so I mean, I don't think it's coming back. And like I said, but I want it to come back. I would like to go to one. But no, I don't believe we'll ever see E3 in its glory again. Maybe some indie developers or something, but not what it was.
Yeah, I was about to say the platform. I mean, it was dying because I can't remember. Was it Nintendo that first kind of stopped
Yep.
doing E3?
Yeah.
Yep.
They
Yeah,
did,
and
Their
then
Nintendo tree houses.
Yep.
Then who was the second one that kind of started? Some reason I felt like Sony.
was Sony.
PlayStation was the second.
Okay, so yeah, so people are still kind of pulling out like when it was kind of big, anyways. And to Gaines' point, like I mean, PlayStation just puts out a tweet and their social media like 2 weeks will do the play. So I felt like it was just going away, and with the streaming, I know what they were laughing about.
I'm just listening to your wisdom.
But it was just like bound to happen now. I don't know if it will resurface again, but I do think it would be nice for like indie ones to have like a time. Maybe even just if something's just more coordinated, just to be like, hey, all the indie games stream or have their showings like today. I think that would help them, but I think most of them now have the social media and they'll just advertise that way. So I think it'll just disappear. I don't know if they were losing numbers before COVID or anything. But I felt like it was like struggling anyways at some points. I remember it was like back and forth. So I just felt like
Just Dance always did numbers, Roger.
Oh Lord.
That is true. I remember Roger got up dancing every single time it came on too. I still think E3 was not meant. It's not meant for us, if that makes. It's more so meant for people that are content creators. It's meant for them to go in, meet developers, meet publishers, or whoever, and be like, "Hey, my name is such and such. Here's my resume. I have 100,000 people that watch me every single day. Like, what can we do?
Let me stream your game."
Yeah, basically, it's like I'll give you advertising. You just give me something, whatever. I think that's kind of what E3 was as far as like the background, and we kind of just got games showing. It's like, hey, here's this title that you're not going to see for 7 years. You know,
do you think that killed it?
I don't know.
It more content creator focused than like journalist and reviewer focused, whereas it used to always feel more so like it was gamer focused.
You used to be able to play demos. That was why you wanted to go to E3.
You used to be able to go, and then at one point they like stopped you from even able, like if you weren't like a journalist or something like that, you couldn't even attend. So it was like in a way they kind of like filtered the gamer out of it and was like, no, you just watch from home or something. And it's like the people who come here are the people who we actually want to deal with, so to speak.
I don't think it necessarily killed it because, like, at the end of the day, they still showed off what they were going there to show off. I think just the streamers and content creators, they were just, they were invited, of course, by either their talent team or whatever the case is, or their management team, and they were able to kind of just meet with people in the back scene of it. I mean, I think inviting more content creators kind of helped because then now you end up seeing like what actually ends up happening in the background of E3. We were able to see demos, we were able to see tech releases and stuff like that weren't necessarily shown on stage. And then we kind of just got to see the back end of it. I don't think it necessarily hurt them. I think just what ended up hurting them is like so many different failed attempts at them trying to stream a game. And then, it's like, hey, we're going to release this game this week or this year. E3 comes around and it's like, oh yeah, we're still going to do that. A week later, yeah, we kind of lied about that. I think that's kind of what, and then a lot of developers and publishers just saw no point in going anymore. Now you end up not talking to the streamer itself. You're probably talking to the management team that says, here you go. You don't have to, you can just email everybody. You don't have to talk to them in person anymore. I don't know. I think E3 just got to the point where it got too expensive. I mean, look at what Sony did for when they did Last of Us. They put on a show.
Yeah.
Like Sony, Microsoft, they always put on a show. I guess Ubisoft always put on a show too. And Devolver Digital always recorded their stuff beforehand.
Yeah, that was cool. And weird.
I guess it does suck for the indie people though. I do agree. Indie companies were able to show off their game. I mean, look at what happened at what Take-Two, what they did. I think that's the name of the developer for them. Like when they went to E3, they went to E3. Like they showed off their games, and every single game they showed off so far has an amazing numbers. I think it's Take-Two. Is it Take-Two, Roger?
I'm assuming you're talking about the 2-player games.
Yeah,
like that's what. Yeah, that's them.
Yeah, like certain indie companies enjoyed E3. It helped them out. Like they took a full advantage of it. They talked to the people they need to talk to. They got their name in front of publishers they never even heard of that would even see them in person with a normal meeting. So
Yeah, I hope it comes back because I was always hoping my idea would come to fruition with PlayStation Plus kind of doing these demo, or although the demos wouldn't come out until the game is out. But I always hope that there was something like if you're not in person, maybe you pay like $3 to try out this demo. So maybe, for my sake, Final Fantasy Remake Part 2 shown at
Yeah.
E3. Hey, you at home, pay $3. Roger
That's
made a
fine.
wild face.
I
I thought Roger was about to rebuttal me, but I was like,
I
oh,
realized that he was yawning because at first I thought he had utter disgust at your idea. He's like, I was like, holy shit, Roger really hates that idea. Like, God,
It's been a long day.
Yo, hey, find that and screenshot that. We need that picture for perpetuity, forever.
I think it's
But,
around.
oh,
Find
Terry's
it, Terry.
but now.
Give us your answer, Keith and
But,
Terry. You research that picture.
I'll see what I
but
can.
Terry, I have a game to recommend too while you're researching that.
Fortnite. I'm already done.
Oh, okay.
Jesus.
But yeah, I was always hoping that would be a thing just for people to try out demos or, just exclusive content that you wouldn't be able to go get to see and stuff like that to try to have some type of experience. I understand why it's not happening right now. I mean, same thing why PlayStation stopped doing their end of year showcase and all these things. It's just a lot to put on to get people to make demo or trailers and all this stuff and hiring violinists to come out and play one of the top 3 violinists in the world to come and play here. I can only imagine how much it takes to put that whole thing on and make sure it goes off without a hitch. So, uh, I understand why it's not happening, but I hope in some capacity it does come back, especially with just exclusive stuff for even people who don't show up to get access to and just to test out. Oh, hey, okay, I know I won't get Kingdom Hearts 4 for another 3 years, but I like to see what they have right now. Or
Hey,
hey,
hey.
Madden 24 is coming out. Let me see if it's up. Yep,
You
it's
just
Madden.
gave Kingdom Hearts too much time. You know it's about to
Uh,
be next 10 years that it'll come out. Okay, giving it too much
nah,
time. No.
I think 2 years. 2 years.
Okay, that's what they said
Calling
when it
it.
was supposed to be out before.
Calling it. Final Fantasy 16 will be next year. Kingdom Hearts 4 drop right after that.
If you're very optimistic about this, what about Final Fantasy Remake?
Calling it. But all right, that leads us into our final segment, our game recommendations. I will start. I'll recommend the game Sleeping Dogs. It is currently on sale as part of the Golden Week sale. For those who don't know, it's currently Golden Week in Japan. Well, it's coming to an end, but a bunch of games are on sale that are uh, Asian based. So Sleeping Dogs is one of them. It's kind of a Grand Theft Auto with a lot of martial arts aspects of it. So I don't know another sandbox game. I feel like there's one. I'm just not thinking of it. But sandbox game, tons of stuff is about the Chinese gang or the triad. So if you are into Chinese culture and Chinese gangs, Sleeping Dogs is a great game.
All right. I will recommend an old school game, but Mega Man's Legends on the PS1. It's not on sale for Golden Week. But
How
nah, it's good.
I was gonna say, how are people finding this? What do you telling them to
Oh,
get
it's
to a
if I'm
oh,
no, Keith.
okay.
No. It's
I
actually
just wouldn't know how to get my
it's on the
hands on one.
PlayStation Store. It's on the PlayStation Store.
Is it
If
really?
you if you have a PS3,
Uh,
it's on the PS3 PlayStation Store. You can still get it through there.
if
But
you have
it
the
is a
technology.
if you have the technology, it's a great game. It's one of those like cult following games. Like it's not part of the mainline Mega Man stuff, but I feel like it's one of those games like a group of people, including myself, really love those games. Mega Man Legends 1 and 2. I'm a little more partial to 1, so that's why I'm recommending you play that one. Definitely you might not regret it. It's one of those games, I guess, if you don't have the nostalgia, maybe it didn't age that well. I don't know. Since it has those funky controls that PS1
Yeah,
games had back then. So, you may not be able to get past it. I don't know, but it's worth a shot. At least it's worth a play. Put it like that.
The serve bots will make up for everything.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
They're
minions
quite
before
comical.
minions.
Yeah.
like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess it's my turn.
Mhm.
I'll do Trek of Umi, or I think I said it right. It came out yesterday, May 6th. The presentation of that game is amazing. It's like you're watching a martial arts film. It's all in black and white, but it's like you're watching an old martial arts film and playing through that. The story I've been enjoying a lot. Gameplay wise, it's okay. It's simple fighting, not too much craziness, and it's a little on the short side, but overall, just how the game is presented is what's amazing me with the sound, everything else. The story is what is a huge standout for that, and that's free on Game Pass and on pay for everywhere else, basically.
Found it. I added stream markers. 5 in.
Yes. That face.
There's 2 stream markers. The one that starts it
Yes.
like a few minutes before, and a second one.
Just screen grab it, Terry, and put it in the Discord so that we may use it as we see fit.
Continue.
He's already gave his game Fortnite, so
He gave his game
up, Keith.
Fortnite. For
Wrap it up,
those
B.
who hate building, Fortnite has a new game mode called Zero Builds. It is great for players like myself who don't really. It's not that I don't enjoy building. It's just that other
Keith, you
people
don't
are too
build.
ridiculous. Other people just get too ridiculous with it, and I just then feel terrible about myself.
No,
But
let me hold on.
in
Before
Zero
Keith
Builds, you
continues,
won't feel terrible about yourself.
no, before Keith continues down this route, Keith went an entire year of not building a single ramp, floor, or wall,
But
or
did
pyramid.
we win? But did we get dubs, Terry?
When?
All the time, Terry. You built the walls. I just shot from around them. And then I would like struggle to edit my way out of the building, but it was okay. It was fine.
Okay, yes.
We got wins.
Yes, as I'm building pyramids and nice
See,
like
he's building
Eiffel
pyramids.
Towers. Keith over here
Eiffel Towers,
just
you see?
knocking down every
This is
build.
why Zero Builds is a necessary game mode. And for those who gave up on Fortnite, just go give it a shot. You can listen to the baby while you shoot people. It's really crazy what they've done with the game. I mean, I heard other people, the baby coming from other people as we were shooting them. I didn't understand it, but it happened. You can shoot Sasuke. Fortnite is ridiculous with the amount of, I guess, licenses they got to, be allowed into their game. I mean, there's Naruto, there's all of Marvel damn well near. I think there are DC characters in there I saw.
Yep.
Street Fighter, I saw Ryu with a gun. It was the most wild thing ever. I don't know why Ryu would even have a gun in his hand, but they got Capcom characters. It's a good time. Fortnite is a very fun game. Give it a shot if you can. But with that being said, thank you all for tuning in to this latest podcast. We'll be back at another time, joint venture, and hopefully it's for when I establish my dominance in the Mario Party. I have not given up on this dream.
Oh yeah,
Luigi
we still haven't
forever.
played. I forgot we still haven't played that.
But as usual, peace, be easy, be blessed.